deep within the dungeons of immortal sin crawls the slimy evil that lives within.
Sounds nice.
Would you live there?
No. I don't want slimy.
What if I was the doorman that greeted you every day with some kind of creepy message like that?
Oh, that'd be fun.
But
Yeah, I'd live at that building. As long as I'm not getting slimy stuff on me, I'm good.
Well, only the evil stays slimy, so if you're not evil, you got nothing to worry about.
Oh, then I'm great.
I'm great.
Yeah, because, I mean, what is evil but morality? And morality is subjective to all.
Well, isn't evil a lack of morality, or is that just a condition? Is that just
I think to consider something evil is opposing your morality.
Oh, wow, that's a much different thing, I think. So if your morality is challenged, you automatically label it as evil?
Not necessarily challenged. If it goes directly against your morality, then you would consider it evil.
Give me an example of that. Help me understand what you mean.
So like human sacrifice, a lot of people would consider that evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the ancient cultures, they didn't think of themselves as doing something evil. If anything, they thought they were doing good.
You really think everyone, though, was on board with human sacrifice? Like, oh yeah, that's necessary.
Everyone's on board with waterboarding a child for baptism.
I mean, I guess it's true. I guess it's always just sort of like a splinter cell, a smaller group of people. The people of the Judean People's Front who decide that they just don't like that.
Yeah, I think everyone has their own ideas on what they consider to be good
mm-hmm.
and what they consider to be morally objective.
So what do you think? So what is your strongest opposition to morality, common morality?
My strongest, like, what do I think is okay, but other people don't?
Right.
I don't know.
Or is that too broad a question?
Well, no, it's not necessarily a broad question. I just have it requires a lot of thinking because let's say you're dating someone. I would never take your girlfriend, right? But like some other dude, I don't know him. I have no loyalties to him. So I don't, I don't feel bad if I took his girlfriend. But also that it raises a flag about the girl.
Really? Okay, well there's two things that I want to talk about on that, because I had this conversation with our friend Alec, and he seems to have the position that if you break up with a woman and a friend of yours then dates her, I guess it doesn't even matter what amount of time elapses. So that's a shitty thing to do. That's a bad move. And I've had other friends tell me the same thing. But from my point of view, it's like, well, your love affair is over.
Right.
Why should that have any impact on me? Why should your guilt be mine? I have nothing to do with that. Just because we're friends, that I don't consider that honorable or dishonorable.
Right. It's a neutral act.
I mean, exactly. I mean, to me, because like I guess the way I look at, like, say, the definition of honor to me is not to save someone from defeat, but to make them, but allow them to have it. In other words, like not to be cruel in those you conquer. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I know maybe that sounds like too strong a statement between just two Joe Blows, but two jabronis, a couple of friends. But I think it applies.
No, absolutely.
So,
and with that, I mean, personally, I would ask my friend if they had any problems me asking out their previous girlfriend.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I would do that as a respectful thing, because
I agree.
It hurts to see someone you once had an intimate relationship with someone, right? And then for that to be your best friend, and then to be hanging around their love that you used to have, it just drudges up those memories. So you're hurting your friend in a way. You don't really want to do that, but exactly. If you ask, then it's on that person to tell you their honest feelings.
I would call that a respect, like a good friend should do that.
Yeah,
he should say, at least say something like, even if it's just, "Hey, look, we started talking, we found out we had feelings for each other, then we decided let's see where this goes." Even if it's like just a heads up, so to speak. Just so it's not a surprise.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. That's definitely fair. But yeah. So wait, what was the second thing you said? I already forgot about.
Oh, I said that would raise a flag about the girl.
Right.
Right.
So
because
explain why is that a flag to you?
Because if she's willing to do that to someone who she loves in the moment, right, then she could do that to you too. So you got to be aware that she may leave you for someone else while you're dating them.
Okay, so the example then, what you mean then, that you're presuming in the instance where maybe the woman did something wrong and she left the guy?
Yeah, I mean, she's the one that has the loyalties. She's the one that would be cheating, right? If it comes to that.
What do you mean? A man can't cheat?
Not if you're not part of their relationship, is what I mean. So if you're an outside person, you're not cheating, right? It's the two within the party, within the relationship that are cheating.
All right, devil's advocate time. So if someone in a relationship is unhappy and they have the strength and the willpower to get themselves out of it, isn't that admirable?
No, that's good. Yeah, you should do that. But cheating is.
But that would still put you on your guard.
No, because yes, you have to leave someone when you're unhappy, right? If the relationship is not good and you are not fulfilled within it, you have to have that conversation with your partner and tell them what's going on and then continue on with your life.
Exactly.
Which is fine. That's not a flag because that's what everyone should do.
Okay.
But if she cheats on him, right, then that means that she has the capability of cheating on you.
Okay, so if she uses that as the reason to leave the relationship,
right?
She uses that
someone else who may be in a higher dominance hierarchy than you could swoop in.
Well, I would agree. I think using cheating, or I mean, look, it happens all the time, and I'm guilty of it myself. When you want out of a relationship, but you haven't thought it through, in any rational sense, so you sort of just follow your emotions and your actions. You just become an animal. Like you just start. Like in my case, I just started talking to other women, and I just wasn't even really trying, and maybe that's why it happened so easily. Because
I find when you're in a relationship, that's when all the other girls want you.
Yeah, well, they say that about married men too, right? I've literally had friends who put rings on, and I'll be honest, like it worked in my favor a couple of times where I just had a hairband around my ring finger, and I just normally do that.
Yeah,
because I saw a friend of mine once doing that, and I'm like, is that your hair tie? Because we all have long hair.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's a really good way because I hate wearing it on my wrist. It cuts off blood circulation and all that. And I don't like constrictive things in my body, really.
Right. That's why I don't like wearing elbow pads or knee pads or anything for work.
Oh, yeah. But what about just in general? Like I like the feel of like armor. Like when you like really pad up and you throw in that leather and padding and metal, like don't you feel awesome with all that shit on?
No,
really.
Like even in football, I didn't like wearing the football pads. And
that was one of my favorite things about football.
What I liked about it was that I could run into things and not like feel anything. But I don't like the way it feels on me. It feels constricting. It feels unnatural. I like the free motion. Being able and not feeling constricted and being able to breathe.
So you'd be right at home on like a desert island, like a beautiful desert island that you own.
You're not a desert.
Dessert, yeah.
Deserted island. Not a desert island. I don't like the hot.
Deserted, not desert. Deserted, yes. Pardon me, that's what I meant. A deserted island. A beautiful deserted island where, you're just naked or just a shirt?
Dude, if I could be naked all the time, that'd be great. I only wear clothes because society makes me. Dude, I wouldn't wear clothes. I mean, not even because of weather. I'll just brave the cold. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair will protect me. That's
but we aren't the hairy apes, that we once were. So there is that to consider.
I don't think I'm hairy enough to survive the winter, but
the elements would tear you apart, man. You'd have a big smile on your face, but you'd be a smiling corpse.
Yeah, it'd be like with Jack Nicholson. What's that movie?
Oh, The Shining.
The Shining. At the end, I'd just be frozen into death.
He's just got that Joker's maniacal hat, grimace.
I've always been here.
Yeah, I've always been here. Oh man. Yeah. Speaking of fake smiles and grimaces, I recently started a TikTok account.
Oh yeah,
and
how'd that go?
Man, I've been really kind of tacitly avoiding any real connection with social media.
Yeah, it's
and apps because I can see the effects it has on other people, and not just young people, but anybody that uses their phone or tablet constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like, the same way you don't like restriction, I don't like that sort of disconnection from the world around me.
Even that's why I don't like taking pictures or taking videos or being a part of any of it. It's because I like to live in the moment. I like to experience the now.
And I agree with you on that. I'm sort of naturally that way. Like I get people complain, like you never take pictures when you go on vacation. I'm like, why? I was there.
Yeah, right.
You weren't, so I'm sorry.
My mind's gonna get corrupt in memory anyways. But that's part of that's part of living, right? I would rather live through it than be the observer, than be like just this like disconnected thing.
I agree. And are you really going to revisit that? Like I get nostalgic, sure, when I accidentally find an old picture or something, but I don't. The
worst is when you're at a concert and they're taking videos. It's like, put your phone down. I'm trying to see the guy sing right now.
Oh, that almost helps me get into a rage mosh because I'm just like, fuck, I can't see the goddamn. I might just go nuts, but
I knocked your phone down. Sorry.
No, yeah,
over here.
Yeah, it's just it's such a. So I was on TikTok and I'm just messing around with it. I'm just doing like a cappella. I'm just singing without music, right?
Okay.
But then I started browsing, and obviously anyone who's on TikTok knows, or I guess any social media for that matter, is very political right now, and it's basically communists versus, I don't know, Republicans, whatever. But I'm not going to get into politics, but what my takeaway was, long story shorter, is that it put me through an emotional roller coaster because I just saw all these extremely intense images of hate and violence, from that to like, cute stuff to funny stuff to sad, content. And it was, some of these people are really good. They know what they're doing. They mix it very well with, music, or the way they cut. They edit the video, right? Or just the way they shoot it.
It's so easy to edit on those platforms now.
They do. They make it really easy. I mean, everybody's a professional video editor now because everything is dummy proof pretty much, I feel.
It's awesome, though.
It is cool.
That this kind of technology is coming to the masses more and more.
But the way it floods, I wasn't ready for that. And it just flooded my mind. And like, I mean, after I lost over 2 hours, I couldn't, I can't remember the last time that happened where I lost track of time. And I lost over 2 hours, and that's a big chunk of the day that I just didn't do anything. I was sitting in front of my tablet.
Yeah, dude, TikTok is the biggest time suck. It is ridiculous.
It just blew my mind that, and it didn't feel good afterwards. Like I felt guilty. I felt, that I came away with. I felt dumber. I came away with. I had less. I didn't learn as much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you use TikTok or any of that stuff?
I've used TikTok, but then, like you said, it just takes your time away. I think it's because it's so short. All the videos are. They're like a minute at the longest. So you're like, oh, another one won't hurt. Oh, another one. Oh, it's just, why not? One more. And then you just get lost in this rabbit hole. And some of it is really funny, and some of it's really entertaining. It's so bad.
It didn't feel good. Yeah, it felt like too strong a distraction.
Well, at least with YouTube, at least for me, I use it as an educational platform. So, but on TikTok, I have no education.
There was zero education. I learned nothing.
Yeah, other than that. That's not to say that there's not good TikTok creators that do education. Like there's some Japanese out there.
There's some cooking, and I saw some of that, like you do-it-yourself type stuff. Like that was interesting.
But it's so quick, and it's like you can't learn anything within a minute. It's like, what is this?
Like I'd have to rewatch it. I don't know how many times to cook that steak the way that guy did.
Or pause it 20 every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I prefer like a slower. Like something I can actually follow.
Well, they say that pausing. The rule of three. It works in comedy, but it also works in memorization.
I thought the rule of three was in everything, like in life.
Yeah, you have to do things in sets of three at least. Mm-hmm. Like that's how your mind interprets and like keeps a hold and latches onto it.
The first instance of me learning that rule, if you want to call it that, is when I was in kindergarten. No, second grade. I was in second grade. And we had this visitor. He was cool as shit. He was like a puppeteer. He told jokes. Like he was just like a general entertainer for the kids, right? And he was also teaching us things. And one thing he'll never forget that he taught us is like, if you never want to forget something, he says, lock it in your thought and then tap your temple 3 times. And I've been doing that for over 30 years because like my whole life, I just, it works. Like I can literally recall everything I want to that I've done that method with.
When you recall it, do you tap your head again, or do you just
sometimes out of habit without thinking about it? But it's not like, it's not, like a conscious volition. Like I'm just like, it happens every now and then. Generally,
it's
not.
like a mnemonic or something like that, where you associate it with something else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's
you
sort
bring
of
meaning to it.
right.
And I use that a lot when I'm trying to study for like my Japanese. I use mnemonics all the time.
Mm-hmm. To help you memorize.
Yeah. It's like Mainichi means what is it? Every day. And
Mainichi.
but it sounds like, to me, it's like My Sharona, like the song, like Mainichi. So that's how I remember it.
Dude, that's what you should do for like a stream or a YouTube, and only Japanese people will know that you're talking nonsense, but it'll sound like really rhythmic singing. Yeah, just sing with mnemonics, Japanese mnemonics. I'm your first customer, Joe, dude.
Well, it's like acquaintance is shitty eye, so it sounds like a shitty.
What a shitty eye!
Yeah,
you have a shitty eye. Yeah. By the way, I'm not making fun of Japanese. I love the Japanese culture.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's very, very in depth, and there's a lot to it. It's very rich in history.
It is so rich. Yeah, I really love. At least the idea I have it. I haven't been to Japan yet, but I'm.
Yeah, right. I have really a romanticized version of Japan in my head for sure. I want to go there and live there for a year, just to experience their culture, experience a different culture.
You're probably never coming back.
You think I won't?
I don't think you'll come back. No.
No, I'll be a god there. I'm so
I want
tall
to die there.
I'm shining white. They'll love me.
I literally had people tell me that, if a white guy with long hair is like, you could be a professional celebrity, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they just love white guys with long hair there. Like, he's like, he told me a story about a guy who chaperoned men and women, like as a friend, or not like a date or anything sexual,
right?
But just as like a buddy. Like they paid him to be their friend, like so they could just show off this white guy with long hair, and
you're the hype man.
Yeah, well, my friend Adam was like, wouldn't find that degrading. I'm like, no, I would do that for a living, be myself for a living in a foreign country. Great. Are you kidding? Where do I sign up for that? Yeah, no, I would do that for sure.
It's like Slurm McKenzie from Futurama. You just get paid to party all the time.
That's right. I'm Slur. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I miss Futurama. I can rewatch it whenever I want, and I've literally rewatched it probably every season at least a dozen times. It's ridiculous how much I've watched.
I mean, that's the greatest thing about streaming services is that you can just put it on, and then it's just on in the background, or it's like
I fall asleep to it.
You can fall asleep to it.
I always do that. Yeah. I don't know why it's like a lullaby to me. It
well, there's not many loud explosions, right? It's a very calming, it's a very monotone.
Dude,
animation.
That is so accurate. You're correct. I didn't think of that. Yeah. There's no surprise bangs or the vibe. That's what it is. The level of sound in that show is very kind of soothing.
Yeah, and it's very consistent, especially with their vocals. When they talk, everyone talks at the same.
It's all normalized very well. Yeah.
That's
a good point. Wow, I didn't think of that.
I spend a lot of time trying to fall asleep.
Really? You have trouble sleeping?
I can never sleep. I'm always tired, but can never sleep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's awful.
Jeez. I didn't know you were suffering, my friend.
That's okay. But we're all suffering in our own ways.
I suppose, but yeah. Not being able to sleep, though, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah. I've tried, meditating. That kind of helped. Counting sheep, doing other things, too.
Did you ever try... Sometimes I'll turn on, YouTube is great for this, and Netflix has some shows that do it like a fireplace, which is it's just a fireplace with or without music, and it just goes for hours, or YouTube has sounds of rain in a cabin.
Actually, like people who talk very monotone, I'll put them on sometimes, or anything that has something I'm slightly interested in, say facts about religion. I'll put that on when I try and fall asleep.
Now I feel like you're inspiring me to create a fall asleep Zach content series.
I mean, I'd be appreciative. I will try. Other people.
I will try to put you to sleep, my friend.
Okay, thanks.
That's one of my new side quest added to the log. Help Zach find sleep.
You got the check mark, the king and everything marked on MapQuest.
Yeah, I got to collect 10 items of something. What would I be collecting for that? Cassette tapes.
I think it would be a few things, right? You need 3 dragon tears.
Dragon tears. Okay.
Yeah. And you need like the dust of a star.
Well, wait a minute. I'm saying for real. Like,
Oh, you want real
I gotta
item?
turn this into a real quest.
Okay.
I can't get dust of
Chloroform.
a star. Chloroform. Collect 10 unused chloroform rags and bring them back to me. That is such a... They call that FedEx questing in video games. And I can't stand that kind of, like, like time-filling content, like wasting your customer's time.
Yeah, at least in some like video games they do like storyline quests, right? Where it's not part of the main campaign, but there's still like a story to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go save a village from whatever, some kind of horde that's attacking, and then you get to learn more about the world. You're not just like getting 10 apples from 3 different trees.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather just be left alone to explore things on your own?
No, because then I'll get bored. I like to explore.
Really?
I like
You
story.
like direction, like
I just want
story. Well, I
It
mean,
doesn't
like,
need direction
some direction
necessarily.
is what you're implying, though, right? That you have to get the quest to go explore this area.
I just want to be told a story
Yeah.
through my video games. That's
Yeah.
what I like about video games. It's a more of an entertainment, like a movie. It's an interactive
Sometimes
movie.
it's better than a movie, like way better than a movie.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like God of War.
Yeah,
Probably
great
the best.
storytelling in that.
Yeah, one of the best storytellings I've ever.
Oh, especially
seen.
you mean like the new one? Like, yeah, that is really
All of them.
They're all
really.
good. Yeah, they're all
And
great.
even like the PS Vitas, those were pretty good too.
They
for
were
sure.
good. Yeah, that's probably one series of video games where it's rare that I play like every sequel pretty much.
Yeah,
I've played.
that's one of the reasons I went to the art school. It was because of God of War. That's why I wanted to become a game designer.
No kidding.
Yeah,
There's
that and Prince of Persia. Those were my 2
Oh, Prince of
inspirations as a
Persia.
kid.
Then that has a good history to it too. I mean, that goes back.
Yeah,
I
even
remember
to like
playing like
PC.
the first. Yeah, to like I don't know. I can't remember what computer it was on, but I remember playing, if not the first, one of the earliest Prince of Persia games.
Yeah, I think I played on Gateway or Gate, the one that had the cow on it on the computer.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, that was Gateway. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I remember Gateway. Holy cow! Yeah,
Yeah.
That's going back a little bit. Yeah, the old computer brand wars, I guess you could call it. Like Alienware and Dell and HP and Gateway. And
Yeah.
then they started buying up each other because they're failing, I guess, as businesses. I don't know, but that's all gone now. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's just best to build your own. Find a good friend that knows how to do it.
what's
and
part brand?
have them
Yeah,
teach
right.
you.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And now it's easy to build a computer. It's literally Legos.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was once you showed me, I was like, wow, this is a lot simpler. The hard part's choosing the parts that you need.
That is the most difficult part, yeah, because
'Cause
there's
you
a
gotta
lot of
know what you want.
competition. Well, sure. And also, I think something people who never done this before wouldn't know is that when you see like a brand name on a computer part, it doesn't mean they manufactured it. In fact, it almost certainly doesn't, because they basically sell the design for that product to manufacturers, and then those companies produce, say, like a video card, and they alter it because they want to make money too, right? Because they're paying a lot for the design.
Mhm.
So they need to they'll choose cheap parts here or change the design in certain allowable ways and things like that in order to sell the product. And you've really got to sort of like look into that to like do your homework and know your stuff before you buy.
Yeah, it
parts
sounds
of
like
the
a
computer.
writer on like a screenplay. You got all these other writers that have to make their money, so they do their own rewrite.
Yeah, it's pretty much from how I understand it, it's like that. And I am kind of biased to some brands and some manufacturers. Like I love Asus. I think Asus does a great job, mainly because of their quality control.
Yeah,
Because I think that matters the most when it comes to like especially complex things like electronics. You want good quality control. Anything that's machined or put together by hand. If the quality control is bad, you're gonna get a bad product. You're gonna get something,
yeah. I know there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's part of what the brand should be doing, right? Is quality control. That should be their main focus.
Well, you would
Is
expect
so
everyone to do that.
so that all their products are the same across board. and
Yeah.
that you can become a trusted brand, and that's how you would build your customer base.
True. And that should be every business, but it's not, unfortunately. I think a lot of businesses get away with shady practices and they still make money. I mean, that's why they're there,
Yeah,
And there's a lot of
but I think to be able to make the next level, right? To be the biggest company out there, you would want to create a brand loyalty, right? Create like trust within your customers that you will always make sure that you have the best that you can produce.
And you got to be clever enough to take out your competition.
Yeah. See, I agree, but I never go along that route when I do things. I don't necessarily focus. I focus on myself and making myself the best I can do, my thing, and not focus on the competition and what they're doing. I mean, you can look at their things to see how you're comparing in the regards of your quality and if you're falling behind.
But that's what it means to be competitive, is to compare yourself to others and do better.
But I think you have to be competitive within yourself to be able to be competitive within yourself first.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm always, yeah, definitely. At least with that statement in mind, like I do that with myself, where I make sure that I've done everything I thought of, imagined, and was willing to push myself to do before I even compare myself to someone else. Yeah. You got to be at the top of your game, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the most genuine way to be. I don't think everyone does that. But,
no.
You know, but.
So, Mark, do you believe in brownies, like fairies?
I don't. No, of course not. I mean, they're not real.
No, but I'm pretty sure for like 3 days I thought they were real.
Why?
Because every morning I wake up, I fill up my water bottle, I put it in my backpack, and I head out to the gym.
Okay.
I remembered putting it into the sleeve of my backpack, like the little side band.
The pocket.
And then I got to my car, and it was gone. Like, I didn't hear it drop. It was nowhere. And then 3 days later, I finally found it in the back seat of my car. So somehow when I threw my backpack over to the other seat, I thought for like 3 days, I was like, I'm pretty sure brownies are real. Like, I don't know where they are. I haven't seen any gnomes or nothing, but I'm pretty sure they exist.
Okay, but the key to that story is that you threw your backpack.
I gently tossed it from my shoulder across my seat into the other. But from my house to that point, I knew it had disappeared. And I was like, I can't find it. I'm pretty sure Brownie took it out of my backpack and hid it. Like, it's gone.
You know what's less believable about this story is that you can do gentle things. I feel like you are a hammer. You're a human hammer.
Okay, so who knows how real gentle it was, right? If it hit someone, it probably would have killed them. But for me, it was my gentle, right?
It was Zach Gentle.
Yeah.
Gentle Zach. That sounds like a children's story. It's about a giant who doesn't realize that everything he touches gets destroyed.
See, that is my childhood, though. You don't understand this, but I was banned from playing with my cousin's toys because I would break them.
You break everything. You break just chairs you sit in. I've seen you literally demolish 3 chairs and a sofa.
It wasn't my fault. I was just sitting there.
Not. How can
the world is not built for Zach. Zach has to sit on the ground because the ground is built for giants.
Well, we don't blame the sun for sunlight either. So yeah, I mean,
I want to blow up the sun. It's too bright.
It's too bright.
It's too much
because it's over you. It's too dominating.
Yeah, maybe that's
I have to be bigger than the sun.
It's more so the feeling it gives. I don't like the way that the sun is literally like cooking you and grabbing
you. Don't like the feeling of sunlight, like that warm blankety feeling that it gives on a cool autumn day.
It is not a warm blankety feeling.
I feel that way.
Literally like like when a baby has claws and it scratches your eye.
A baby has claws.
Yeah, like
a baby wolf.
No, like a human
baby has claws.
Like a human baby with fingernails, right?
Okay,
they're like ridiculously sharp. You ever been scratched by a baby?
I've been scratched by children, sure, like a toddler or something.
No, like a newborn.
No, man, they don't have nails like that. I've never
and they're awful.
How many babies have fought you?
Well, none that have survived. But that's what it feels. It feels like something's like gripping your skin and just like digging in with like tiny little nails, and that's what the sun feels like to me. I'm pretty sure I might be a vampire as well, surrounded by fairies.
You walk around in constant irritation. The world attacks you. You can't sleep. Right. I mean, who's going to be your first victim?
Myself, probably. I'm just going to put myself into a coma so I never have to deal with anything.
I feel like you'd be a hammer in a coma, too. Oh, my God. I can't imagine you being like, who was that? I forget his name. I want to get his book. It's called Ghost Boy. And it's about this guy who, when he was like 12 or 13, had this mental like disease that turned him into a vegetable. What they didn't realize was that for the next 13 years of his life while he was alive, he was completely 100% conscious and rational inside his own head. He was trapped in his body.
Right. So like that cement disease where your body just kind of like, you can't move your joints.
No, because he went into a full coma and then he recovered.
Okay.
And he had like a full recovery. Like he became an author. He can't speak. He lost his power to speak. Probably something to do with, the not using his vocal cords or whatever for, over a decade. But he's got a lot of horror stories, and I can just imagine, because in some tiny way I can relate to it, where I took some Ambien whatever pills, like sleeping pills. The only time in my life I tried Ambien or sleeping pills, period, for back. The only time I had back pain in my life, a back injury, and it was supposed to put me to sleep. It locked me in my body for 6.5 hours, and I thought I was full blown insane. Like I couldn't move. I was literally trapped. Like my body was a coffin and I was inside it for 6.5 hours. So I can't even imagine.
See, I would say that's awesome, but 6 hours is too long.
It's not awesome. It's not anywhere near awesome.
Because I've had waking dreams, right, where you're in sleep paralysis, but you're awake, right?
Right,
so your body is like stiff and you can't move.
Do you ever have that sinking feeling, like you're falling through your mattress?
I feel like I'm falling when I try to fall asleep most of the time.
Really?
Yeah, I get that like dead jolt whenever I'm trying to fall asleep. That's part of the reasons I can't fall asleep.
Oh, so you're like fighting your body. You're like fighting yourself, because that's the moment when your body's like, finally, and you just come along and go, no.
Yeah, I guess it's the lack of control, right?
It is. I think. Like you're definitely one of those types of people, like my brother. Like they like. I wouldn't call it maybe it's not micromanaging. I don't think it's that, but it's just you have very tight control about yourself. Like you don't like feeling loose.
No, I can't. I can't let loose.
Yeah,
because then the demons come in, man.
I guess
gotta keep bay all the other outside forces.
That is probably the biggest difference between you and I, is that I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh, demons, woo!
Come on in this party.
Come on in.
This house is huge.
This house has got plenty of beer, dude. But and I find that really interesting too, because I always feel like what people are comfortable with is also in contrast to what they lack, right? So sometimes I should have more control, because I let go too easy. You know what I mean? Like I see fun or opportunity, and I just go, yeah, let's do it. Fuck yeah. But I get into trouble sometimes, right? And it damages not only maybe others or myself, but my character. And that's no good.
Right. What people think of you. Like,
what I think of myself.
Okay.
And also, if there's too much control over my actions, right?
Right.
Then I'll never experience, maybe, like, I don't know, only you can tell me what that's like, because I don't,
Yeah, no, it's definitely a limiting existence if you don't let other things in. For sure. I mean, I'm sure I've lost out on certain things because I didn't feel like, I don't like roller coasters because I don't like that feeling that you get in your stomach.
But it's not, you don't feel regret, like it's because it's part of
your
character.
No, I don't feel a regret because it was a conscious decision. Right. I decided not to do these things because of
just who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable with my decisions, and the knowing that I made them, and I like that because that's deep control, right? Like
that's a good power. That's X-Men power, dude.
Yeah. When you were in your sleep paralysis, did you see things, or was it like the actual world?
So I had moments where, like I've done like hallucinogens before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit like that in the sense that your mind starts to drift because it has to. I felt like I had to drift my thoughts into my imagination, or I was just going to lose my sanity.
Yeah.
Because I literally tried to scream. I mean, imagine you want to scream, but you can't.
Yes.
I mean, imagine trying to do that, and it fails. Right.
Waking dreams are like
so it's like that fear, but for 6.5 hours.
Yeah,
and I couldn't move a finger. I couldn't wiggle a toe. Like there was no hope. I thought I was gonna die. I'm like, what? I mean, literally. Like I didn't feel like, oh, this will just be over eventually. Like what? This is it. Like what the fuck? I'm trapped.
How'd you know it was 6 hours? Did you see the time
because
pass?
I had a clock in my room. And that was another thing too. The way had I known, but the way I laid down was where my eyes were. That was another thing too. I couldn't move my eyes. So like the only thing that seemed to happen on its own was because I couldn't control closing, like blinking or moving my eyes. But that I know that was happening.
Right.
So at least it didn't feel like I had any control over that. But
Right.
there were
It was
definitely
a body
moments.
reaction to the air.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't a constant decision to blink.
Exactly. And I had a clock that I could see. So every now and then I did register some movement in my eye, but it was the best way I can explain it is that it felt like I was watching a recording. It didn't feel like a live action. Like right now I'm moving my hand. You can't, you can see it. But so like I have this conscious control of like flexing my fingers. When that happened with my eyelids closing and opening, it was like watching a movie. Like it happened without me knowing.
Okay.
And then I just got to witness it. It's very strange.
Yeah, it sounds like a
it.
lot of Buddhists, meditating try to achieve is that conscious observer experience, right?
It was definitely that, but man, I mean, that was through the crucible. You know what I mean? Like I was thrown in the fire. I was not ready for that, and it was terrible. There was nothing cool about that.
I've had 3 waking dreams, and they were all over pretty quickly. Only one of them was I like terrified, and that was when I was like, it's when I was in college, and my roommate was sleeping in another bed on the other side of the room, and I was like on my side, and my eyes like open up, and all of a sudden it's like a wooded area, but they're like, like when you go to a play and the trees are like flat, like they're not real trees.
Oh yeah, they're
like planks of wood that are cut out.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it looked like, and then this like Indian face was like peering through the forest, and it was like red, yellow, and then black, like on like lines striped across his eye, like from the forehead all the way down to his chin. And I was like, pretty sure he was gonna attack me. Turns out it was just my roommate that I was seeing in an altered light, and I woke up and I was like, the whole time I was like trying to scream and nothing would come out. I was like pushing with all of my might and nothing was happening. That was terrifying. The other one that I remember was I woke up and all I saw around me was like my bedroom, but it was like all futuristic. So that was pretty fun. That one wasn't scary.
Was it like steampunk, like neon and pipes, or was it more like, silicon and?
It was
mirrors?
it was more like that utopia future.
Okay, it's like real sterile looking, but like sharp edged and cool. That's pretty cool.
Like but the PS5,
that thing is ugly. Oh my god, triggered. That thing is so ugly. What the hell were they thinking?
Apparently, they're going to come out with other versions. They said it, so they're going to come out with other colors too. So hopefully, I won't have to deal with this white gross thing in my room. I'll wait for the black one. I'll wait for the black. It even
looks cheap. It looks flimsy. It looks like if I bump it with a chair, it's dead.
Apparently, it's really tall too. Like it's huge. I haven't seen the dimensions. But
have you noticed how consoles have gotten so much bigger over the years? They're literally just like desktops.
They're towers for sure. Yeah. They're PC towers.
Yeah,
which is
how long
great.
Before they just I
mean, that just means that like the PS5 is supposed to have a real time mental ray, so it's going to do reflections like from a mirror and like real time. So it's not going to be pre-rendered reflections. It's going to be real time reflections. So light and everything's going to bounce correctly.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
That is so excited. Cool. Wow. Man, I just imagine like if we lived to be in our 80s and shit.
Dude, I'm going to live to 100. What are you talking about?
When we're 100, we're going to be like plugged into the Matrix.
Yes.
And it would be so cool if like I can just like visit your world. Like I'll tell I'll tell someone I'm going to visit my friend Zach. I'll tell another friend I'm going to visit Zach. But I'm not, like, we're still in the same room. I'm just, like, going to your world that you created digitally.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, my gosh. That'd be I think that would present a lot of human problems, right? But it would also just be the coolest thing. Because to make my own world, and then the thing is, that's going to get into microtransactions. And that's going to be the most annoying thing. Is that, like, you're going to have to buy all these elements. And the name brand stuff's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, what if you're having...
Like, I think it would be better if they made it so it was more customizable. So I 3D rendered my own things.
You'll have full customization, right?
Well, I think that they would limit that a lot, at least for like they do for consoles.
You'll have to have subscriptions. You can't mod your world space. Yeah. But wouldn't that be fucked up? Like if you like a free-to-play version that has ads... So you're in the middle of like some intense virtual sex scene, and then just some dude in a pink suit walks in and he's like, "Hey, by the way, try Colgate." Like, dude, it's fucking bots, man. You were like upside down, hanging from your skin on the ceiling.
I think they're good. I think you're gonna have to come up with some kind of ad blocker.
Do ad blocker for your sex fantasies.
Yeah,
I feel like I need that now.
That would just be too much, and it's gonna be like Futurama though, where it's just embedded straight to your mind.
Just flying advertisements over
advertisements. Yeah, they're
the
gonna
virtual
happen.
cliff coming to invade you.
Because think about it, technology is getting more and more integrated into the body. We're becoming biomechanics.
We already are androids.
Yeah,
right?
we are pacemakers.
Like Elon
that's
Musk
Android.
put it that way.
Enough.
Yeah.
So eventually, we're gonna get this technology in our mind, and then they're just gonna be able to bombard us with things that they already do to our phones, but into our mind. And you can't ditch your mind like you can ditch your phone.
Yeah.
You can't just.
That would be great if you could. Maybe that'll be introduced at some point. You know, separation from emotion and stress without the use of drugs. Wouldn't that be trippy?
Well, wouldn't that would be the drug, right? Where you just simulate different
without
chemical.
the use of, you know, right. But yeah, I guess a body produced drug simulation.
Yeah, I mean, your body produces DMT.
Yeah. So find a way to just like overdrive that, basically.
Yeah. Well, you can pretty much lie to your receptors. That's pretty much what drugs do, anyways. Is that they're chemical chains that interact with your receptor, and then it latches onto that, but it's not what it thinks it is. It's kind of like when you get CO2 in your bloodstream, your body thinks it's oxygen, but it isn't.
Right. Well, and that touches on something too. Like, the technology for manipulating us keeps getting more subtle. So how much more subtle can it get? Like in the future, will we even be able to detect what's being done to us? I feel like we're suffering from that now. Like when I talked about earlier about being on TikTok, I didn't realize it. I really felt that. That's how I kind of felt afterwards, was a little manipulated. Like I'd been invaded a little bit, like in subtle ways that I didn't recognize until it was over. So
I think that I just get mad when I see like people like talking about just like stupid things, like all this SJW. It's too much. It's like, dude, I'm woke. I've been woke. My eyes were never closed. You don't need to show me this like bullarchy that are just like
people can't talk anymore, man. You know, I find like there's a whole generation, and I'm not picking on millennials or those behind them, but they are the world now, right? They're the next wave of humans. So I have to say to them that, like, you guys need to learn how to talk to each other, because this is crazy out there.
Well, Mark, I'm a millennial, and you can always talk to me.
Well, we can always. I guess I'm
you.
only talking to you because no one's gonna hear this. This is for us, Zach. This is for Sleep Zach.
Yeah, this is Sleep Zach podcast. Trying to put myself to bed.
Yeah,
can't do it.
That's right. Help Zach out, okay?
Yeah, your donations, they matter.
they will matter. Money. That's. Wouldn't that be great? Like, if you becoming rich is what puts you to sleep. So you just need more money, and then you can sleep.
That'd be great. I'd be like a dragon. That's what a dragon is, dude.
You are.
Maybe that's my problem. I'm a dragon trapped in a human's body. That's why I destroy everything. I love fire.
Oh man, that is so deep.
I like caves. You know, I'm a dragon. I just need more money. That's my problem. My hoard is too small.
Your hoard is too small. I agree.
I need to get some cobalt slaves to get me some gems.
Some hot cobalt slaves.
How can you make a
I love
hot
the look
cobalt?
on your face right
I've never
what
like a lizard lady that's cute.
What's wrong with that?
I have not seen that.
No, but you or I could draw it.
I mean,
here's a good question for you. Have you ever drawn your own porn?
No. Yes. I don't know. I may have drawn a boob, but I never jerked off.
Like just a boob.
Yeah, just one boob. I made the uniboob.
It's a study, Mom. I told you not to come in my room when I'm vacuuming.
Look at the eye. It's an eye. It's not a boob. Okay. I had a friend that actually he would draw his own porn, right?
Yeah.
And he did it in class. He was drawing boobs.
That's brave.
Yeah, and then
and gross.
He got away with it, saying that they're not boobs, they're eyes. I was like, that is genius, but those are definitely tits.
I used to only draw an eye. Like my almost like 90% of my time sketching, like my first sketch would always be an eye.
Well, eyes are difficult, but they're so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah,
they're
cool.
not like hands. Hands are difficult, but they're not beautiful. Not like an eye is.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second, but you're right. I don't look at his hands as beautiful. In fact, I think hands are ugly. Yeah,
well,
hands
they're
are
like
ugly.
They're like sausages attached to it.
Well, they're veiny. Their bones look awkward. it almost looks like it's a struggle to be an appendage of the body that wanted to be one thing, and it just fucked up.
Then it's split apart.
It's
It got
split,
electrocuted.
yeah.
It's just like,
I mean, look at your thumb. Like, your thumb's just like, fuck you guys. You know, he's just kind of doing his own thing. And the other four are just like, well, whatever, dude. Like, this works for us.
the thumb is the most involved digit.
Yeah.
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 The other ones just haven't caught up yet. Eventually, we'll have opposable everything.
The thumb is the champion on the hand.
It is. It's
You
just
know.
short. It's like a dwarf.
Like-
among your.
It is. It's the dwarf warrior on your hand. It's your thumb. I do think of it that way. That's good. I'm glad you brought that up because I do think of it. It's an adventure
And what's your
party.
pinky? Is it like
Your
a
pinky
gnome?
is. I hate pinkies, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, it's the fucking halfling in the party. I hate halflings. And just so that we're clear, I don't hate short people. I love short people. I don't like halflings. Like, this is a fantasy racism that I have.
Right.
It's just for halflings because and it all goes back to Tasselhoff Burfoot in the Dragonlance novels. He's just annoying. They always write them as annoying, trolly characters. They're like those assholes that do pranks on TikTok that
but they're not even funny.
they're
pranks.
not
They're just
funny.
rude.
Like, you're just ruining someone's day. Like, and most of it's so fake to me anyway because it's like, yeah, right. I'm like, dude, if you came up to me and even did something simple like that, like took a paper roll and shouted in my ear, I guarantee I'm gonna swing around and hit you. Like, I don't care if I'm
swung
gonna
around and hit people because they scared me.
Dude, I'm
my-
attacked.
That's I don't, that flight and flight response. I don't have the flight. It's always fight.
Exactly.
I've almost always hit first. And
Exactly. Yeah, that to me is an invitation for me to swing. Like, I'm always ready to swing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
So
you gotta protect
that's why I
yourself.
don't buy that shit, and I don't think it's funny either most of the time. Like, it's like there are pranks that are funny you can do to people, but like throwing flour on someone's head in the middle of a grocery store and then pretending it wasn't you, like,
Yeah.
I can't stand that shit.
Well,
It
the
really
ones
does
that are
upset
really
me.
funny is like when this guy is like on the train or something like that,
Yeah.
and he'll just like slowly put his hand on the other dude's lap.
That's kind of funny.
It's
a little
funny, but it's
invasive,
like, man,
but it's
if
funny.
someone did that to me, I don't know if I would punch him first or just be like, "What are you doing?" or like just pick their hand and move it. It's like, I wonder how I would react. I would probably hit them because they're touching me. Because
I would shove. I thought about that too, and that to me is a warning physical movement. So, like, you touch me, so now I'm going to touch you, but it's going to be a shove. So, like, hey, going back to the rule of three, I had an Argentine guy that I used to work with. He was a rugby player, and he said in rugby they had a rule of three. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, and then he says in rugby, players try to sneak punches, like really try to hurt you, right? So one guy punched him, right? And I guess he hit him in the ribs because you can't go for the face. People will see that, so they
Right.
try to sneak it in other ways.
yeah, you can get it in that scrum. You get right underneath,
Right.
and get that jab right.
Yeah,
in
you can snake it in, right?
Mhm.
So I get that. And he said, if someone punches you, you got to punch him back 3 times. And he said, it goes like this. He's like, you punch him back once to get even. You punch him back twice to beat them. And then you punch him the 3rd time to tell him never to ever fuck with you again. I'm like, that is an awesome rule 3.
good.
So I would apply that to the gentle, invasion of my privacy on a bus. If someone just grazed my leg, like some, and it depends who does it, right? Because if it's some, attractive woman, I may be like, okay, maybe there's something wrong with you, but I'm willing to figure it out if it's safe.
Well, I'll probably put my hand on her lap, but a little higher than just the lap, like I'm gonna escalate for sure.
Oh, then that's when you get in trouble. You
Well,
gotta
she
watch
touched me
out for
first.
that.
No, there's this. As a child, I used to get titty twisted, right? Like that would happen. And I was on this cruise once, and this girl came up to me and she did it, and I was like 15 or something like that.
Don't do this.
And then she twisted my titty, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" So I grabbed her titty and twisted it. She's like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't do that? You just did that to me?" She's like, "Yeah, but I'm a girl. You can't do that." I'm like, who says? You're
Yeah.
gonna titty twister me? Like, I'm gonna come back at you. Like,
I
that's
try
how
to
that
get-
works.
I had a woman do that to me, and I tried to get her back, and it was in a bar, and I'm unfortunate I didn't get her back, but God bless you, Zach. Thanks for making the playing
Find her.
field even.
We can go and get her back right now if you
That's
want.
not creepy at all.
It's not creepy. Why would that be creepy? It's vengeance.
Hey, you remember me?
It is the night. It is vengeance.